Hi, Miss Kohler. I'm Alexa. Of course, you know Chloe. Like, well, yeah, I'm Alexa.
Introduction. What grade are you in?
And I'm in 6th grade.
At what school?
At Dexter Southfield in Miss Barrow's homeroom.
There you go. Who's your English teacher?
Miss BT. She's my writing teacher. Miss BT.
My rowing coach. Just gotta say that. Put that out there, go. Coach BT.
So today I'll be giving an interview of the book The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, and it's really good.
There you go. So Alexa, how did you find that book?
Off of TikTok when I was scrolling. Yeah. I was scrolling on TikTok. This book was like, oh, you should read this book. It's really good. Has a good plot.
TikTok's not always bad.
Yeah, it's not always bad.
Hallelujah. Praise the Lord.
I don't know. And I found this video, and it was talking about reading this book. And basically, after I got Amazon, I asked my dad if I could order a book. He's like, yeah, you can order a book because it's a book. So, yeah. But I read the back, and it seemed interesting to me. Actually, like, I couldn't stop reading it. I would read it in class. I would read it in reading class, of course. Oh, yeah. So I was like, okay. So I read the book.
So that's there you go. That's how Alexa found her book. Let's clap. Let's give a round of applause for that.
Shout out to TikTok. Don't ban TikTok.
Explain the story of yours.
So
beginning, what year? Where is it? Future? Now?
I think it's like 2010s.
Like probably. A 2010s years. Oh.
Nora Seed is very depressed. She has made some bad choices in her life. She regrets so many things that she did. So she was like a piano teacher. She did all these things. And the day that she decided to kill herself, her cat died. She lost one of her piano. She lost all of her piano students. Well, she only had one, but she lost her piano student. It felt like there was nothing to pull her out of this like really deep hole that she was like
kind of
sinking in. She was just there. She was just sitting in a hole and she couldn't get out. Once she kills herself, she ends up in a library with Mrs. Elm, her past, this librarian that she used to go to in town. And she used to play chess with Nora all the time, and she made Nora feel better when her dad had died. In this library, there are only like books, shelf to shelf, books everywhere. And she gets to pick a book with one of the lives she could have chosen.
So it's like a magic library kind of type thing?
Yeah,
to relive her life.
Yeah,
the life that she wanted
to see all the choices she could have made. It had any possibility she became. Anything.
What did she choose?
And she chose 5 of the books because they actually like related to her life. She chose a professional swimmer, opening a pub with her boyfriend, living a life with one of her friends, becoming like a glaciologist, becoming a philosopher, and becoming a singer. Those are the 6 books she chose. And after all of those, the library starts collapsing because she starts to believe that there's actually no point in living at all, because whenever she feels like uneasy, it just sends her back to the library.
Oh, really?
So she gets sent back from her last life. She's like, there's nothing else I can do. There's nothing else I do. And there was a blank book appeared in front of her. Blank book. And Mrs. Elm said, Nora, you have to write your own ending now. It's all up to you. Like, do you want to live? And Nora realized that after all of those, she actually wanted to live her own life. So in the book, she tries writing everything. It doesn't work. But then she wrote her own story. She wrote, I Am Alive. And there she was, alive in her home. Yeah, that's
dang. That's a deep story. Okay.
She got really close. She got close to her family that was left again, and now that she's living with optimism. Yeah.
Dang. Okay. So that's a deep book. So I'm gonna ask you. So what do you think they could have done better, and what is your favorite thing about the book?
So what they could have done better, I feel like it was a really, really good book. But I would want them to give a bit like more context on like. They gave a lot of description on the library, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I was a little bit confused on the time there. Because they had this time zone that I understood, but I didn't quite understand it. So if they went a bit more in detail with that, it would have
been better.
It would have been fine either way, but yeah, that's just one thing that I noticed.
Okay, I get that.
My favorite part of the book is definitely either when she's a glaciologist or if she's like back to her normal life. The glaciologist one is because she had an encounter with a polar bear, and she had to like actually like scare away a polar bear. It made her feel that was one of the main things that made her feel like, oh, this is life. This is like
this is truly living.
So
okay.
she was like hitting the polar bear, stuff like that. So that
dang.
made me feel was happy.
So
Good part.
was it because she didn't have any life experience prior, like her life in a sense, she thought there was no point of living it because she's never experienced quote unquote anything?
Well, this is the thing, she has experienced things. She had so much regret that she just couldn't live with it anymore.
So what did she regret?
She regretted many things. She regretted not doing anything like with her
life, like
yeah.
Taking advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah, she had so many opportunities, and
okay.
the choices that she made, she could have done so many things, and she gave up all those opportunities. So she felt so much regret, decided to kill herself.
Dang, said it all. That is interesting. Well, to any future person that would read this book, what would you warn them about, and what would you say is the thing that they look forward to reading it?
It just depends what kind of books you like to read. If you're more of like a happy book person or a fantasy book person, this is like not really fantasy other than the Magic Library.
Yeah, that part.
But if you don't like sad books, this is like a deep book, kind of. It's like a deep book.
Reflecting.
So
self-reflection.
Read it if you don't like really sad books.
Would you say this book is for like teenagers,
yeah,
older,
definitely,
like
maybe
20s?
Like young adults?
Young adults? Okay.
Yeah, TikTok. Maybe, yeah. I find a lot of my whole book list is off of TikTok. Can I show them my book list?
Yes, show them the book list. I literally told her to show the book list. She has a bunch of books.
I have a book list. This is my book list of good books that I found off of TikTok. I don't know if you can see that, but
yeah,
I got some, but I haven't read it yet. So.
She's gonna try to finish those books this year, between 2 years.
Yeah, in between like 3 years, 2 years. I have like 3 done.
There you go. High five.
We Were Liars, the Midnight series, and The Book Thief. I'm in like the middle of it, page 250. It's 500.
She's reading books that we were assigned as summer reading.
Me?
Yeah, summer. Remember, We Were Liars.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was a good book though.
Yeah, it was.
It was actually that was a deep book.
It was a pretty deep book. It was good. I liked it. PTSD.
Okay, no more context on that because we're gonna get your teacher confused.
My bad.
Sorry, Chloe's just like,
jeez. You don't have to be like that.
That was my list of books that I'm really looking forward to reading.
Dang.
That was
respect.
My
there you go.
The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I'll let you guys get a good look at the cover. Like you can see all the things she could have done.
Recommend. I might actually read this.
A swimmer.
I want to get more into
singer,
reading. So.
And like, this is chess. A chess piece of pawn represents her connection with Mrs. Elm, the librarian.
Dang, symbolism right there.
Let's go. And a whale.
Marine biologist.
No, I don't think
was
she was.
Or
a glaciologist.
Yeah,
I think I think that might have been one of them. So that was my review of The Midnight Library. Here's the cover. A lot of representation.
Round of applause for Alexa.
Really good book, guys. Out of 10, I'd rate it.
We gotta rate it. We gotta rate it
out of 10. So out of 10, I would rate it probably a 9.
Ooh, actually?
A 9.
That's pretty high.
Yeah.
Dang, that is high. I like that. Okay.
A 9 because like I feel like it could have been like more specific. Just with the time zone things. Yeah. I didn't really understand that. I should have searched it up on Google, but it's fine.
That's alright.
Just that's one thing, and it was like just a sad part.
It was sad. I get that.
I know. I decided to read it because it was sad, but still.
Actually?
Huh?
Were you looking for sad books?
Oh no, I didn't think it was a sad book. I mean, until I read it and I'm like, oh, it sounds interesting. Just like it was like sad, so it was like.
It makes sense. There you go.
That was it.
Round of applause for Alexa.
What would you rate your book out of 10?
Oh, my book? That's hard because this book is so sad, but also it's like
it has a really powerful message.
Really powerful message. So I'm gonna give it probably 10 out of 10 because I can't. No disrespect. I cannot disrespect this. Like it's
powerful words.
It's powerful.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Like even by the cover, like, come on. Like what?
Let's see. The choice. Embrace the possible.
Embrace the possible. Come on. this on TV.
That on blast.
Yeah, actually, like sad books. This is like a deep book, kind of. It's like a deep book.
Reflecting.
So
Self-reflection. Would you say this book is for like teenagers?
yeah,
older,
definitely.
like
Maybe
20s?
like young adults.
Young adults?
Maybe, yeah. I find a lot of my whole book list is off of TikTok.
Book list. I literally told her to show the book list. She has a bunch of books.
I have a book list. This is
she
my book
reads
that I found off of TikTok. I don't know if you can see that, but
yeah,
that was my list of books that I'm really looking forward to reading.
There you go.
The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. See all the things she could have done.
Recommend. I might actually read this.
A swimmer.
I want to get more into
singer,
reading. So.
And like, this is chess. A chess piece of pawn represents her connection with Mrs. Elm, the librarian.
Dang, symbolism right there.
Let's go. So that was my review of The Midnight Library. Here's the cover. A lot of representation.
Round of applause for Alexa.
Really good book, guys. What would you rate your book out of 10?
Oh, my book? Probably 10 out of 10 because it's like...
It's powerful words.
It's powerful. Let's see, the choice. Embrace the possible.
Embrace the possible. Even the cover like says read.
I know. This book did change me. I'm going to be honest. It did change me.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to go over the story, as I told you guys before, it's about a girl. She was a professionally trained gymnast. She was also a ballerina. And her family in general, they were all Jewish. Her parents, she had kind of had like a rough home life because her parents never really loved each other in a sense. Like she always thought her mom was always like really angry, like taking it out on her, regretting her life decisions just like that one. The difference is she couldn't do it over and she was kind of like living trapped in a house in a sense. And although the dad wasn't bad, he was a tailor, they just never really got along. And the mom always saw herself at a higher status than she was. And so she kind of put that upon her daughters. Edith, there was Margot, and I think there was Carla, I think that was her name. They're basically 3 girls, all sisters. One of them actually was able to escape the Holocaust because she acted like she wasn't Jewish, and she dressed as a nun, and she was able to escape it because she was one of the biggest violin like prodigies at the time. One was just really good at flirting. That's basically it. And then Edith was really good at, her mom said she wasn't pretty. She's like, well, you're not pretty, but at least you got the brains. Like, she always called her ugly.
That's so
like,
mean.
I know. I was like, really? What? Come on. So it kind of always, like, affected her in a way. And then when she went to the Holocaust, like, she has a lot of regrets in here. Like, she blames herself for not saving her mom when she technically could have, but she didn't know at the time. And because she knew after, she really, like, took that really hard upon herself. So she gets to the concentration camp. She's, like, legit fighting for her life. This girlie is strong. Oh, my gosh. So she's like starved. There's like people that are trying to like go after her, get her, stuff like that. It's like pretty bad. And then finally she gets saved by an American. And then they get her out of the concentration camps. Pretty much sums it up. And then after that, the book is more about her moving on in her life. And after she does that, she actually reunites with her sister.
Talking about they reunited, they got over the
Oh
thing.
yeah, they were so happy. They go back to their house. And then actually, while they're walking on the street, they see their sister, the violin prodigy. She just happens to be there. They reunite and everything, but then both of the sisters are extremely sick. So they have to go in the hospital. They
get healthy again?
After that. But then Edith actually meets her husband, he's some rich guy. But they end up getting married. She has a child, but I forget, they have to leave because some people are after his family. Don't ask why. Yeah, I know. Again, someone's after her, so she has to go as fast as they can. And so they were either going in between Israel or America, and they were actually about to go to Israel, but something happened and it wouldn't really make sense for them to go. Well, they go to America, and what ends up happening is she can't speak English. It's really hard for her. She's like not used to living a life like this because before in Europe, even before she had money, and so she goes to America. She's living a really poor life, but she still has a lot of fear, so she gets panic attacks a lot. Because she hasn't gotten through what's happened to her, and she's too ashamed, so she hides everything from her kids, so she doesn't tell their kids anything. So they don't know about the Holocaust. They don't know. Hides everything, bro. She's not, like, literally.
When kids find it?
They end up finding it. The dad actually tells them, and because she's like, you can't keep hiding this secret. Like, it's hurting you more, because she's just so ashamed. She's like, my kids can't see me like this. Like, they don't recognize me. So, like, that really hurts her. And she's still really angry about it. And so actually what happens is, as she gets older, she begins to read psychology books, and she ends up going to college to get a psychology degree to help people who've gone through certain circumstances. And basically she talks about how she got through the Holocaust and how she implements that with her patients.
Is she still alive?
Yeah, she's 96, 97. What happens is she has something called the choice, which choice therapy is basically, as freedom is about choice, about choosing compassion, humor, optimism, intuition, curiosity, and self-expression. And so basically she implements this with all of her patients. Yeah. And she basically uses this as like, I can actually give you examples.
I was just about to say an example of how she used.
So like compassion is, first how you deal with people, you have to show them compassion. Show them that you actually care about them, because a lot of people who have like issues within themselves, they don't feel as though the world cares about them. They don't feel love within their lives. So first you show them compassion. Humor, try to be funny, try to be relatable. Like, don't act like you're like...
Don't be so serious.
Exactly. Most like therapists, like you're coming to them with problems. Like, it's like they're sitting out being, in a sense, vulnerable. The person doesn't know you. Like, imagine like you don't know me.
Like, I would be nervous if somebody would start like talking to me.
So humor, like just be fun, like be normal, be relaxed. Don't hold anything. And then optimism is showing the person that there is, instead of
a good side of life.
Exactly, good side of life. Most people who come to therapy look at life from a negative standpoint because of all the things that have happened to them. So by showing them to move forward with their life, but in an optimistic way. Intuition. She used this a lot at the concentration camps when she was there. And if something inside is telling you that something isn't right, listen to that. It's always listening within yourself, and that's also...
Wait, can I see
the book? Yeah, sure. Man's Search for Meaning. About how Viktor Frankl, there was choices that he had to make with intuition, and if he didn't make that choice, or if he didn't listen to his intuition, he would be dead, and he wouldn't have written the book that he did.
So curiosity is this?
Curiosity. Always being open to experiencing new things. Don't ever be blocked off. Like, one of the cases in here was a kid who was like really racist and stuff like that towards everyone, and she was on fire. Like, she marched with Martin Luther King Jr. on the march.
She did?
She did. She was with him. She was there. She was like a strong woman. She was doing all that. She was, because she knew it wasn't right? Segregation. She was a part of that. And there was a kid that she actually was sent to therapy because he was super racist. He had a bunch of prejudice. And in a sense, curiosity comes in there, is like being curious instead of judging him, because it wasn't his fault. He was a teenager, actually.
It was probably like something he was influenced.
Exactly. If something influenced him, it was the way he was brought up, his life story was really bad. And just the experience that he had, she said, instead of judging him, because if I did that, if I went off at him, what is that going to do? He's already like this. Exactly. It's not going to get anywhere.
You're not supposed to get mad. That's not the goal. The goal is to like help him get through.
And curiosity about what he's going through, and internally, she's able to help him. And instead of being angry, on the contrary, how she was curious, she was able to get him through whatever he was going through.
Yeah.
And in general with her life.
The last one is self-expression.
Self-expression, basically, this is more or less of like doing an activity or something. How she was a ballerina, how she was a gymnast. And that really helped her. Like at the concentration camp, she used to dance. That set her free, because when she danced, it felt as though she put her mind in a different place, and it almost felt as if she wasn't trapped, because she said my spirit was always free. That one thing that no one can ever take away from you is your spirit, right? And no one can ever take away the freedom that you have within yourself, right? Mm-hmm. And that was the one thing that she said that really helped her, is because she felt free through dance, through her memories. No one can take away your memories. No one can take away your mind, your education. No one can take away that life that like you were put inside of you by God, what she said basically. And how holding on to that hope, holding on to that faith of the God-given abilities that she had, she used that to free herself.
So express yourself. Mm-hmm. So dancing was a way of expressing herself. It would make her happy. It'd make her feel free from all the hard things she was going through, because it was one of her favorite things.
Exactly. So that's basically the sum of the book. Then she gets over the anger. She actually goes back to the concentration camp. How the book ends, she goes back and she forgives everyone who's ever been like prejudiced against her because she was Jewish, and all the things that they put her throughout her life. And forgiveness was what truly set her free. By letting go and just saying like, now I'm truly free, within myself, like, because she was trapped. Like the anger attacks, anxiety, was because she wasn't forgiving.
What do you think is the theme of the story? Forgiveness, or?
I think that forgiveness, we all have a choice, the choice to forgive, to set ourselves free. a choice to choose freedom over keeping ourselves captivity, right? Because you can be technically like a concentration camp, but spiritually within yourself, if you're free, then you're truly free no matter where you are. That's basically the sum of the book. Like if you're spiritually free within yourself, you forgive, you can move on with life, you're optimistic, you have that choice and you make it, your life is free.
Yeah, this is like a deep book. This has a really good message. This has a great message as well. So both recommend The Midnight Library and The Choice. And thank you.
Close.